All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. This is Brenda Miller, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. And tonight we are making some projects from Paper Pumpkin. And this is the Sweeter With You uh, monthly kit from July. Okay, so it's early August, but we're doing the July kit. And if you could follow along if you want and make the cards with us, or you can just watch or fast forward, whatever you prefer. But we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's see. Remove spotlight. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Spotlight for everyone. Okay. I had a weird setup there. All right. So here is our beautiful box. This is the specialty box that we got, which I do think is adorable. I always love when it comes in special boxes, and then it has the red tissue paper in here and flies already out. But let's go ahead and take a look. We've got a garden green spot. Always great to have a garden green ink pad. So I'm going to use a full-size one, as I normally do. I do end up giving these away, and so I have quite the collection again built up. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn gave me a bunch, and I'm going to find a worthy recipient, or two or three, over the next few months. So it also comes with, we have our dimensionals here. We've got our stamp set, which has some lovely hello friend, life is sweeter with you, a very nice thank you. And then you can also make your own strawberries and your own flowers. And then you've got you are the best and love you lots. So we're going to use all those words today and some of the other stamps. So then we have our package. Oops, forgot to mention. We also have tear and tape. Now, I didn't actually use the tear and tape today. I felt I didn't really need it, but I just used my regular adhesive, but you can certainly use the tear and tape, as well as the glue dot. Same thing. I just used my tear and tape instead today. Okay, so let's take our package out and work our way from the top. Now, this time, there are 8 cards, 2 each of 4 designs. So I've already made one of each of them. So we have this one. Strawberries in a little pint. We've got a nice strawberry that we stamp on. This one's, and they're all very simple and fun to make, and nice and bright and cheerful. So we've got those 4 cards, but again, we have to separate it out this time into four piles. So we're going to try to do that as easily as possible. So the first thing is we've got our 8 envelopes, and all the envelopes are the same. So they have that lovely plaid on the top, so that makes a very nice gift giving, but you can put all those aside. We don't need them. So the first thing we have, and let me just get out, I'm just following along, and if you want to, you can do as well, but in the instructions, it tells you what goes with each. So this first card base that we have with all the strawberries, that's card number 2. So that goes there. And then next you have 2 sheets of the vellum, and there are 2 pieces on there. So the smooth edged rectangle goes with card number 2, but this scalloped edged rectangle, I'm going to carefully punch that out, and that's going to go to card number 1. It's interesting, since there's 2 of each and I already made one, I'm going to use up all my supplies tonight, which is kind of exciting. I don't always go back and finish the last project when there are 3 cards. Okay, so that's it, card number 1. Okay, next up we have the plaid, the pink and orange plaid, and that is card number 4. So I'm going to put that over here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So next we have some die cuts, and I believe there are 2 separate sheets there, and I'm just going to work my way around. And these sheets I don't think are exactly the same, so you kind of have to see what's what as we go. So we're going to take this pool party strip. There is an extra one there for you, but this goes with card number 1. The pool party strip, card number 1. Then, where is that? Oh, there is a whole nother. Nope. That's not right. Sheila, are you following along with me?
I actually already sorted mine.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're just going to have to see what's what. So we've got this little bucket or the little pint container for the strawberries, and that goes with card number 4. And then there's also a pink strip, and that goes with card number 2. And I already punched out some of these others, but you'll find the other pieces on other sheets of die cuts. So you might have to, let's see. Yeah, so we do have some extras, which is nice. So if I go to the next sheet of die cuts, which may be behind the next card base, so you might have to look for that if you're going through. I'm trying to do it in order, but this one makes it a little hard. These striped panels, both of them are going to go with card number 3. And then we have this word. This is the word outline here, which is the same as the word outline on this other sheet, which you can punch out either one, and that goes with card number 1. And then same thing with the scalloped circle. That circle is also on the first page that I was punching out of, and that goes with card number 2. And then we've got a scalloped rectangle, same situation, and that goes with card number 4. So what's nice is that in the end, there is one extra of everything that you stamp on. So in the end, you're going to have an extra little pool party strip, an extra little bubble bath strip, and then the 3 different words. So we'll have that. Okay. So hopefully that's not too confusing for people. The next card base is the one that is Strawberry Slush, and that goes with card number 1. And then there were probably die cuts in between here, but I pulled them out. This is the card base for card number 3. So finally we get to put that on something. And then the rest of the die cuts are strawberries and flowers. And again, these sheets are not necessarily the same, so you might want to pull them all out. And as Sheila was saying earlier, before we started recording, these strawberries are all kind of similar in shape and size. So I am going to, what's the easiest way to do this? So this big sheet has 3 big strawberries. Okay, so you end up with 1 extra of these light pink ones. And it's a light pink because we're going to stamp on it. And that goes with card number 3. So I have an extra one of that. And then you'll see you have a bunch of little ones. And the little tiny ones, they go with card number, there's 1 on card number 4. If you look at your other sheet, you will see that there are more teeny tiny ones. And so the other problem is that they're so well cut that they're falling right out. So I've got strawberries everywhere. But what I'm doing is I'm just punching out the little teeny tiny ones, the smallest ones. And so again, I put 1 at card number 4, and then I'm going to put 2 at 2 of the teeny tiny ones at card number 3. Okay, so we've got that. And then I'm going to save any leftover little teeny tiny ones. So then we have medium-sized ones. Okay, so if you look at them, and they're a little bit different shapes. This is where it got a little confusing. So let's look at them. So I punched out, or they fell out. The medium ones all fell out. So we've got a bunch of these, and we're going to use 1 on card number 2, and 1 on card number 3, and 3 maybe one bigger one as well on card number 4. It's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell. So if you're confused, make sure that you go to the last page of the instructions, okay, the final page, and that's how I'm distinguishing. But you see how they're hard to tell what size these are in relation to these. So they're either medium or large, but it's not going to matter. You just want to make sure that you end up with 4 red strawberries on card number 4. Card number 3 also has 4 red strawberries. I believe I have to get a big one as well. So I'm going to switch out one of the mediums for a big one. And there's just 1 big red strawberry on that first one. Then you have to look, but there's a little light pink one in the corner. And the light pink one goes on card number 3. So you end up with 5 strawberries on card number 3. And lastly, probably falling out on you already, but this is the full set of leaves and strawberries, and that goes with card number 1. So I have an extra strawberry here, and oops, I made a mistake. See, I'm telling you, it's really hard. This little pink strawberry doesn't go with card number 3, it goes with card number 4. Okay. And I think I've got it. What do you think? Sheila, did you think I got it right now? As far as you can tell?
Those strawberries threw me through a loop. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have some leftover. I have like 5 leftover strawberries. So, okay. If we find we need more strawberries, we can do it. But now we'll move on to our flowers. So the flowers are all identical. So we're going to put 5 flowers on card number 1, 3, 4. I know you can't see that. That's over here. 3, 4, 5. And then we have 2 on card number 2. And 3 on card number 3. And then 2 on card number 4. And I only have 1 left, and that's because when I was making my samples, somehow I lost 2 flowers, and I'm sure they will show up tomorrow on the floor in here or something. I have no idea. So I just have 1 on the last card. All right, so to review, card number 1 has big strawberry with the vine, the scalloped edged rectangle, the pool party label, 5 little flowers, and 1 label where we'll stamp the word. Okay, that's card number 1. Card number 2 has the strawberry base. It has the circle that we'll stamp on, scalloped circle. There's also the rectangle, the straight edge rectangle of the vellum, 1 red strawberry, 1 pink, or let's say bubble bath, strip to stamp on, and 2 little flowers. Okay, that's card number 2. Card number 3, in summary, has 2 of the striped rectangles. It has 2 larger, so they might be larger medium, strawberries, 1 very big light pink strawberry, 2 little strawberries, and 3 little flowers. Okay? This is the hardest part of the entire class, getting these sorted. So the final card, number 4, has the large rectangle, scalloped rectangle. It has 2 bigger strawberries, actually 3 bigger strawberries, 1 pink strawberry, 1 little strawberry, 1 little pint container, and 2 little flowers, although I only have 1. And I'm sure that it's right here somewhere. So, okay, are we good to go?
We
Yep.
are.
Okay, let's go for it. Okay, so we'll start with card number 1. And we will fold our card base in half and give it a nice score, or a nice fold crease with our bone folder. And both sides are the same, so it doesn't matter, and there's no up or down necessarily. Okay, so then what we're going to do, the way that they recommend doing it, is putting our strawberries on. So adhering just with whatever adhesive you like. They actually used tear and tape on the back of this, but we're going to adhere it to the piece of vellum first. And that way, when we go to adhere it to the card, we know where we can put our adhesive because it'll be covered, right? Because when you work with vellum, it's easy to see through. The adhesive will show through. So I think I'm getting to the end of my. We're going to go ahead and put that together like so, and it basically covers the whole thing. It does go over the edges. You can see that it goes over. It comes out a little bit at the bottom, a little bit at the top, and at the edges. You can even go over more to the left, but once you have that, then you can go, you'll turn it over, and then you'll put your adhesive on. And you're just going to put it in places where the strawberries are on the front. And that way it will stick.
I like that.
Right? Makes it easy.
Very easy.
Yeah. Easy to know where things go. Now, we've got that, so we have a little room on our desk so we can go ahead and stamp. So I just wanted to get that done. So the first thing we're going to stamp is the Hello Friend. So that is a rather large stamp. Where are my stamps? Right here. Come on. Okay. So it's a big one. And we'll peel that off. And so I like to put it on my block on a diagonal. Okay, so that I can get the whole thing on there. I don't have to worry about it going off the edge. And you're going to make sure that when you go to stamp that you have your little outline piece set up the right way. So the longer edge goes to the right because that's going to hold the D in friend. Okay, you'll ink it up. Again, I'm using a large full-size ink pad as I can. And we just aim it on there. And there we go. So that comes out nice and clearly. Once we have that stamped, we are going to stamp one more thing that says Hello Friend, and then on this little blue strip, the little pool party strip, we are going to stamp, it says, Love You Lots is what they use. Now you of course could do, you don't have to do anything at all. You could just put it on there blank. You could not put it on at all. You could put a different message on there. I'm going to do Love You Lots. I used to, when I was like in my 20s, that's how I signed everything. Love you lots, Brenda. Now I sign my name with a heart. Kind of said the same message, but that was my little tag phrase, if you will. Okay, so I am cleaning my stamps and putting them away because I'm going to use one block. All my blocks are tied up because I'm ready for my Stamp-A-Stack class, which started this morning, and we have 2 classes tomorrow and 1 on Saturday. So we have that coming up. Okay, so the Hello Friend is going to go on using dimensionals. Now, you of course could use as many or as few as you'd like. I'm going to I'll use 3. I'll go crazy. I know. Usually I would just use 2. I just feel like it's always enough, but this one, why not? I can. So, and the spot that they put it in was right across all of the elements, so just slightly below center. So that's where we put the hello friend. And for the little love you lots, we're going to just use regular adhesive and just attach it to the white. So if you wanted to, you could also put little tiny dimensionals on it, but it's really not necessary. You could use the glue dots. I'm actually going to use my liquid glue here just to put it. I just put 2 little dots of liquid glue. I'll show you. 2 little teeny tiny dots. And then that way I know that it will be stuck in the right place. And I don't have to worry about putting dimensionals underneath it or anything. Now, speaking of the liquid glue, I like using the liquid glue instead of the little glue dots, which is what they recommended for the little adorable flowers. I like to decide where I'm putting my flowers, and I'll just place down a dot in the spot where I'm going to put the flower, and then I'm going to go back and actually place the flowers. So, and I'm just doing it in the places that they did it. So why reinvent the wheel, right? Just doing what they did. So I'm just going to come in. Now, if I had my Take Your Pick tool here, which I did when I was making my samples, it was really easy to pick them up and then lay them down. But all my Take Your Pick tools are also out at the different stations for my class. So I knew if I would have pulled it off of the table, then I wouldn't have it when I needed it there. And I can just as easily use my fingers. But just know that a Take Your Pick tool is a good little addition. You could have also put these on using dimensionals if you wanted to. And that is it for the card. So no bling, but it's got that nice little vellum, and I think it looks really pretty, and all these great little die cuts that we didn't have to do anything for except glue.
Very nice.
Yeah, right? So that's fun. Right, so how'd you do there, Sheila? Good?
Yeah, and the card itself is always so much nicer than it looks in the picture.
Right? I know. It really is. Really is. Yeah.
I do like it.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so we'll move on to card number 2. And so we've got our vellum, we've got 1 strawberry, we've got our 2 pieces that we'll stamp on, and our 2 little flowers. But we're going to, this one, you do have to worry about which direction you're going because you don't want your strawberries to be upside down. And I will tell you that I did put them upside down at first this morning, and I was like, oh, wait a second. This does have an up and down. I wasn't even thinking and realized it very quickly. So for this one, and now that I've folded it, I'm just going to put it aside so we can stamp our 2 items, and we're just stamping the words again. This one they made into a thank you card, and it says thank you, and then we're going to put you're the best on the little one. So that's what I'm going to do. I always need lots of thank you cards. So I had somebody, so I work for a nonprofit, and they like to send thank you cards, and sometimes they ask me for cards. I don't know if they really want my cards or they don't really want my cards, but occasionally they will ask me specifically for them. But one of my downline brought me huge boxes of cards, but she knew that my nonprofit uses the thank you cards, and she separated out a bag, and there probably were, I don't know, 40 or 50 cards in that bag that were just thank you cards. So they are now well stocked for at least a little while for their thank you cards. But I still use thank you cards as well for myself. That's why I always need so many thank you cards. And then we have the little strip which says, it said, you're the best. Thank you, you're the best. Always nice sentiment to receive. We do that. So this morning at class, my husband had his car oil changed, service. So we had dropped it off in the morning, and it was all people I knew, and they were pretty settled. And it was like, an hour into the class or so. So I said, oh, we're going to just go pick up the car. And the ladies that were here were little smart Alex, and they, they said, oh, you sure you want to leave us alone here and whatever. We came back and they had all the chairs upside down. So we walked back in and we were like, oh my goodness, such silly girls. I was gone for not even 10 minutes. And they turned all the chairs upside down. Anyway, I don't know what made me think of that, but that was today's activity. All right, so for the, once you have that stamped, we're going to put our vellum down. And again, you want to make sure that before you put your vellum down, you want to have an idea of where you're going to be covering it. But I'm going to tell you that if you put a line of adhesive right towards the top of the rectangle, that is going to be all you really need, and it will be covered, okay? So this one, we didn't have to, really, we could have assembled it like we did the other one, but it wasn't really necessary for this one. And this one, they actually just placed that right in the center, or ish, yeah, center. And the thank you will go on with dimensionals. So let me pull those out. Where did they go here? All right. So I'm just going to use 2 on this one. I think that's enough. Dimensionals. And we're just going to cover up that adhesive. And this is how they placed it. So a little bit off to the left, because we want to make sure we have room for our strawberry to go on the right. Okay, so I use dimensionals and I put it a little bit off to the left. For the strawberry, we're going to do that same trick that I did before, which is I'm actually going to put my dimensional next to the circle in a spot where I know I would want at least part of the strawberry. It just has to catch it a little bit. And that way it's not putting an extra layer on top of the scallop circle. You just lay that down. So really anywhere over to the right of the circle would work. And then you just place your strawberry on top, and look at that, it sticks beautifully. And then we're going to do the same exact thing with the flower, which is going to go right next to the strawberry. But it's going to end up overlapping it, but we're going to lay it down like that. So again, I'm putting the dimensional next to the strawberry, I'm taking the flower, and I'm going to just overlap that a little bit. And again, the way, that was just one of the flowers, the way that I'm going to do my little strip is I'm going to use my wet adhesive. Now you can just use whatever works for you. Just regular adhesive would work, but I'm just putting a little line of adhesive in between the leaves of the strawberry and the flower, because that is where You're the Best is going to go. And I can also push it around a little bit and figure out where I want it to sit. So we put a little dimensional next to the circle for the strawberry, and then a dimensional next to the strawberry for the little flower, and then I just used some adhesive on top of the strawberry to put the strip. I could have easily just put adhesive on the back of the strip. And then we have 2 more flowers left, I believe. Nope. We have 1 more flower left. There were only 2 flowers on this card. Somehow I said 3. Isn't that funny? I was wrong. All right. Well, there's my extra flower for my last one. So the second flower goes off to the top right of the circle. And again, I'm going to use my dimensional to put that on. Could have just used regular adhesive for that too. But so I've got a flower up here and a flower down there.
I like that card.
Yeah, it's quick and simple. But I mean, the background paper certainly, I love how it all just ties in. That's what's nice about a kit with all the pre-punched out designs. It can be more elaborate and have more color than when you're stamping it. I always love kits. They make it easy. Right, so how'd you do there, Sheila? Good?
Yes, I've just put my last flower on.
Okay, perfect.
There we go. Very nice.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so we're ready for card number 3. So this one is on a new page. Just want to make sure I do it correctly. So again, we have our little strips. We have our giant strawberry. We've got a bunch of other strawberries. So 4 strawberries, yes. 2 little ones are together. And then this has 3 flowers. Okay. So again, we're going to fold our card in half. Give it a nice crease. And even though this is just a garden green card base, it is textured. Well, it doesn't feel textured, but it has that textured look to it because of the way that they have the paper colored. That is fun. Okay, so for this card, we're going to start actually with a little bit of stamping. So we are going to use the little flower stamps, and we're going to put both of them onto our block, kind of on a little diagonal, right in the center, and we are going to stamp them around the card. So they show it stamped 4 times. That's what we'll do. A lot of it gets covered, but it's just, kind of creating a little bit of a background. And you can change the direction your flowers are going if you want to. Sometimes we'll flip it around. And then, so that's pretty much sort of how they stamped it. It'll work. So I just stamped it the 4 times with the 2 flowers. Now you could have stamped each of the flowers separately, but it is a nice touch and makes it a little bit easier to have them both on the block at the same time. Nice little sun tip. Right. And these flowers are nice size. It's nice that they're one slightly larger than the other. If you wanted to, you could also stamp up on the inside of your card. Kind of tie it all together. And the other thing that they stamp is this was another thank you, because I guess it fits on the strawberry nicely. The hello friend doesn't really fit. This one says life is sweeter with you, and that also will fit. So if you prefer that, you could do the life is sweeter with you. Like I said, I'm going to do another thank you. I never have enough. I do like this thank you. The font is very similar to a stamp set that recently retired. So, and that had a thank you that was similar. So now, I have one that I will keep because I keep pretty much all of my paper pumpkin stamp sets because they're easy to store and you never know when you're going to need a good sized Hello Friend or just another option. Oh well, fix that at some point. All right. So that was all the stamping we needed to do on this card. I will close up my ThinkPad. All right. Are you ready to glue, Sheila?
I am.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to take our first striped piece and we're going to use regular adhesive or the tear and tape if you prefer. And they put this one on a diagonal leaning up. And they took the second one and they put it on a diagonal going down. This gives it a little bit of interest, and you can of course do this with, this is nice with the paper being the same, but you could also do it with two different designs, and that is just a nice, easy way to get a little interest in your background. We have that. And next, let's see, they used, trying to figure out where they, okay, so they used dimensionals on most of the strawberries. So we are going to take one of the medium strawberries and we are going to, I just used one dimensional on there, and they put it up here and on the kind of the top left. But then they took one of the teeny strawberries and they put it right next to it. So again, you can just use some regular adhesive here, or you can do like we did before, which is take a little bit, another dimensional right next to it and situate your strawberry that way. So, very sweet. We've got two strawberries here. They're both put on with dimensional. And then they put the big stamped one on, also with dimensionals. So I'm just going to use two on the back of this giant strawberry. I have to admit, when strawberries are this color, I don't like to eat them. I feel like they would be sour. I could be wrong. That's how I think of it.
They need to be on the vine more.
Yeah, right? They're not ripened.
Right.
Yeah. So that's 1 and 2 and 3 strawberries. And so for the last two, we're going to do the same thing, but just in the reverse in the bottom right-hand corner. So I'm going to take a dimensional, or I could have put it on the paper again. I don't know why I didn't do that. And you put one there, and then you take a little one, and you put it down here. I don't want to press it down. That's the whole point. All right. We have this. So we've kind of got like a line of strawberries. And then we're just going to go back and accent with our little flowers again. So same thing. Again, I like to do it with my glue, which is so funny since I used to be so averse to using glue. Yeah, I find uses for it all the time. I'm like, wait a second, this will be better because then I can move it around a little. So, putting one here, one down here, and one more up here. So there we go. It's nice that it has, background and then all the elements are lifted a little bit. And again, if you wanted, you could stamp a little bit on the inside. Now, what we didn't talk about, and we're not going to use, but we actually have, you can create your own strawberries. So we have this is the red part of the strawberry, and then you can do the green part separately. So a little two-step going on there, which is always handy to have. Always nice to have some strawberries. So that's it for that card. Another simple one. So even though there are 4 cards, they're all pretty quick. So not so terrible.
Very nice.
Awesome. All right. So for our final card, we have all the rest of the pieces. It's just easier to say it that way. Lots of strawberries, a few little flowers. And see, I lost the flowers again. There's one. I had another one where I don't know what I've done with my flowers today. 3 flowers I've lost, all in the same little area. I've done the whole thing right here. Oh well. Okay, so we're going to fold this in half. Final card. And for this, we're only stamping one thing, and that is on our scalloped rectangle. And again, you could use any of the phrases. Any of the phrases will fit, but they used on this one, the one that says, life is sweeter with you, which is, again, always a nice sentiment to receive from someone. So we will ink it up. And they stamped it all the way to the right side, so that we're going to build our little basket of strawberries to the left. They centered it, and when you're working with something that has a script and then straight letters, you want to make sure that you choose the straight letters to help you line things up. Because I do have it on my block a little crooked, which is making it even harder, but I tried to make sure that the with you was straight, because that means the rest of it would be straight. I'm not sure. Yes, it looks straight. Not too bad. I'll take it. Okay, so all right, so we're going to clean that off and put that away. So now we're going to build our, okay, I'm going to put my glasses on for this one. I can better see it. All right. So for this, we want to make sure all of our berries get into that basket, right? So in order to do that, oh goodness gracious, little backings of the dimensionals everywhere. Okay, so in order to do this, they kind of eyeballed where the basket would go. And then we're going to take our strawberries and we're going to put them together just to have an idea. So this is how I ended up doing it. I took this away and I said, okay, well, I know I want my strawberries to be kind of low because they want to be in the basket, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just put the 2 larger red ones low in the basket. So one angling to the left, the other one angling to the right, like so. And then we're going to take the pink one and put it on top using the dimensionals. And I will tell you, this is not exactly as the way the instructions show, but this is how I did it. It made sense to me. So that way, when I go to add my basket, we have that. So what they also did, though, was they took a third one and they put it across the bottom so that it like kind of showed through so that you could see that the strawberry was in the basket. And I didn't really understand how to do that, so I skipped it. So that's probably why I have extra. But they like kind of put one down here. One additional strawberry like that. And then they put the basket. But it didn't make sense to me, so I skipped it. You can give that a try if you want, but I'm just going to use my regular.
You can't really see it.
Right. But the only place you can see it is if you look really closely, it looks like it's sticking out the bottom.
Nah.
But it's so subtle. Exactly. That's how I felt about it, but, you know, I don't want to mislead anyone. So if you would like it that way, please, by all means, do that.
I skipped it.
Did you skip it as well? Yeah. Okay. I hope nobody in replay land minds, but if you would like to do it, you could certainly do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and, so what I did was I used the regular adhesive to adhere it to the top of the strawberries. And now we're going to adhere this to the card front. Now we could have probably done that a little bit earlier, but this works just as well.
Brenda, is the basket attached with dimensionals?
No, it's just attached with regular adhesive, although I'm looking over here and it's kind of sticking up a little bit, so I might actually put a dimensional under this side just to secure it. But then no, they used regular adhesive for that.
But you have the pink strawberries with a dimensional, right?
Yes. So then the basket kind of covered it.
Okay. Got it.
But we still have the little strawberry, and that's going to go on with a dimensional right next to the basket. So I do like the way that this looks. So I put my little dimensional right onto the paper, and I'm going to put a little strawberry there, and then we're going to add the two flowers. One flower in my case. Unbelievable. No, you know what it is? It also looks like the little, you know, I have got all these little backings from my dimensionals, and I probably threw it out by accident, right? Because thinking this little flower was actually one of those, but oh well. So then I'm just going to add my little flower over here. I should have put it on with a dimensional, so I'm going to put it down. It doesn't say to put them on dimensionals, but looks like. Go ahead, Lynn. What was that?
I said it's very nice.
Yeah.
I would use
very nice.
Again, but
the second flower would go over here, is where they put it, over on this side. So.
Okay, this one's my favorite.
This one?
This one's my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, it is cute, right?
Very cute.
That. I think I like the first one the best. There's a lot going on it. So, yeah. Okay, so let's look at some alternative projects. So I will share my screen. Where is it? Right here. There. And we will. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I know. Let's make it a little bigger. So let's see. From beginning. There we go. So this is
Allison.
Yeah. So Allison does 3 videos showing different alternatives, and I texted her and I said, Allison, do you have them all in one place? Because I want to show, you know, all the different things that you do. So you can see how she cut apart the bases, and she matched with other papers, and she used the stamps to make her own strawberries.
Very nice.
Right? Yes. She always does such a good job. So
yes,
I feature her. Allison. And then this is Athena Turk, and she took it even further. She made like some 3D items here, a whole bunch of 3D items actually. She also added some gems in the centers of the flowers, and then, some of the pink gems too to accent everything. So lots and lots of ideas here. And this is Candy Roto. I love how she took the back of the envelope and made it into like a little fruit stand. Isn't that adorable?
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I thought that was so clever. So well done.
How did she attach it at the top?
I think it's just folded.
Oh.
And, like a little part of it is attached. So, yeah. But still, just really fun. And this is Debbie Henderson. And I liked her little take on things. I like the way she used some, down here, she embossed some paper to put behind it. It makes it pop a little bit more, I think. Just really, cute, different ideas of ways to do it. And then here's a scrapbook page, which I thought was really well done. Don't know how they did the zigzags, but actually we must have a die, and she covered up where like it ends, right? Because we don't have any dies that are longer than like 6 inches. So, oops, sorry. Oh, how do I go back? I don't know how to go back. Wait a second. Let's see. There we go. So she, so she made her borders, and she creatively used the card bases and cut them. So I thought this was really a nice way of using all those pieces. So anyway, then this is Jeannie Stark, and she made a fun, what is that? Angled easel card. So a fun fold. I'm never really, that's a little too ambitious for me. When we've got angles going on, it's always hard. So I'm always envious when people do cards like this. I always think they look really nice because they're a little too much for me.
I always wonder if you make something like that and send it, will the person who opened it know how to set it up?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, because it's so different. Yeah. You have to send it to somebody who kind of gets it, right? That's what you have to do. And I loved the simplicity of this card. I loved using 3 stripes of DSP and just the way they put it together. I don't know, but I really liked this one. So I might have to recreate this one, maybe using different kinds of different papers, but I liked it. And then talk about fancy folds. So this is
wow.
And I believe that this fancy fold was done originally by Susan Campfield. I think I saw that she had done a bunch of videos and tutorials with this fold. And again, it's just a little much for me. So I'm always impressed when I see it because I just wouldn't do it. But I also look what she did here. She cut apart that vine, so she was able to get 2 different uses out of the one vine, because the vine had 2 sides to it. So she used one side here, and then the other side somewhere else. I don't think it's actually over here, but anyway, a lot going on there, right? Okay, so this one is Laura Siki. I love her creations. She's usually the first one that has alternatives out there, usually the first one I save, and she's just always very tasteful, I think. So anyway, she did a great job with these. And then this is Tanya Bird. She's got a fun fold here. She's using some creatively placed circles. This was a die we had back in the day. And this is a square card, so very fun. Yep, and that's it.
Nice.
I will.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I will send those out in the email that goes out, and
there are a ton of them on Facebook. Oh my
God.
God.
Exactly. And that, to be honest, that's where I get most of them is from Facebook, and people's blogs and such. So just always fun. So I actually have all 4 of my cards made. So that is a So all 8 of my cards, I should say. So Lynn, which one was your favorite?
The first thank you one.
This one. No, this one.
Well, I can't see that.
Oh, the green one. Let's see. It was, yeah, so that was this one. Yeah. So very fun. Okay. Well, awesome. Ladies, thank you for joining. And for those of you on replay, thank you for checking in with us. And ladies, I'll see you tomorrow night at class. You'll be here.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, looking forward to that. And, you know, if anybody has any questions on anything, just let me know. So thank you so much for joining.
Thanks,
Okay.
Brenda.
All right. Thank you.